But there are some questions about some of the things that you often say. For example, you talk about random thoughts and personal thoughts, but I'm not sure what the difference is between random thoughts and personal thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so life energy flows through our system from the root to the crown chakra. And in the mind area, it sometimes there's a lot of energy accumulated because we learn to think a lot, right? So this, like, our whole school system is just all about thinking and the mind. So we basically keep a lot of energy on that level. So when life energy flows through the system, a lot of energy is just in that area. The personal thoughts are the ones you are personally having. For example, oh, I need to get, I don't know, groceries later on, or I don't know, you play the guitar or something, you have it in your background.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a conscious thought. And the random thoughts are basically the energy in that area just playing out by themselves. So the stories. So they just create stories. And the stories are around, of course, what you're doing, what you are personally thinking, what you're going to do later on, and so on, or like energies that you have in your system at the moment. For example, triggers. For example, there's an energy in your system in this moment, a fearful energy. Then the thoughts, they will be around fearful things. But they're just random thoughts. They're not real. They're not like, they're just like a balloon of air. You know what I mean? They're just that's so we in German we have this expression of Luftschloss. It's a air castle. You build an air castle, so it's like it's not real. Your personal thoughts are real. So, but it's not a lot. Like when you go through your day, how many thoughts would you have? You would probably have, I don't know, 10,000 thoughts. So Joe Dispenza says we have like 70,000 thoughts a day. So personal thoughts would be like 10,000, and the rest is just random, just those stories. And this is basically just that energy passing through your system and being held there. It's also a mechanism that we have. It's held there, and just forming random thoughts.
And so personal thoughts are more like intentional or practical. Is that the
Yeah,
difference?
it's not like we don't really have a lot of personal thoughts. It's really just a tool. The mind is just a tool to navigate through our everyday life. So it's really not to forget your groceries and to
Oh,
maybe
okay.
remember a few things.
So making a
And
list or deciding
exactly,
what time to leave for the airport, that's what you're talking about. But the random
exactly. And
thoughts,
the rest, all the stories, it's just stories. So
right.
basically, over time, there's going to be less and less and less. And like just for me, most of the time there is just emptiness. There's just nothing. So there is just like, yeah, just looking around, but there's nothing happening behind on a mind level. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then I was like, just a thought. And then also, what's very important is that a lot of people mistake thoughts with intuition. So intuition kicks in an information. So, but I always say intuition comes on the heart level. So information comes in, for example, what we need to do next, or just something intuitive comes up. And then people mistake it sometimes with the mind, or start thinking about their intuition, and then like, a story gets formed, and then they question their intuition and all of that, and then it starts again. But basically, on an energetical level, what you just, your question, to answer your question, is really energy should flow through our system. So life energy flows from the root to the crown chakra. We have an experience, and experience always happens on the inside. It's projected on the outside. It's happening on the inside. And when the experience is over, the energy fully leaves the system. And the optimum way the system works, or should work, is that there is no memory in our system about that experience, only on the mind level. So no emotional memory, right? So even though it was a lot of fun or a lot of joy, or something you didn't prefer, it doesn't really matter. You had this experience, you go through it, so you can't escape this. This will always happen. It doesn't matter on which level of consciousness you are. You have an experience, it goes through, you have it, and then it leaves the system. And then, of course, in Brahman, the convenience is it's just fully gone. Like, it's totally gone. You can't tap into that experience anymore. It's not possible. And before, it's possible because it's basically stuck in the system. It can get stuck in the system. So for example, when you're annoyed about something that happened 2 months ago, and then you think about it, and then the energy of annoyance comes back into your current experience, and you experience now the annoyance, I'm so annoyed, about that, what happened.
Yes.
And this is what most humans experience, right? So that's why we live in the past and in the future, because we live in the past because we bring past experiences into the present moment, and also we project it into the future, and we don't actually experience the present moment because of that. And this is also another mechanism that starts breaking down. And this is what I'm doing with my work. I start breaking down, or help breaking down these mechanisms, and also on the mind level, break down this mechanism that you just have less thoughts, so that the energy can basically pass through and not get stuck there. And you have just random thoughts all the time. Like, you just think about random things, and you're away from the current life experience. Like, you don't have an experience of the present moment because you're somewhere else,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.